You'll ever worry about interracial adoption? Well, this horror movie is just the thing. Daniel Houston and his wife Robin are struggling with conceiving, so they decide to foster an orphan named Cathalia. When they meet the agent, they learn that although Cathalia has her way of communicating, she doesn't speak. It might be due to health issues from birth or a traumatic event. During their conversation, Daniel finds out that an older couple recently returned Cathalia. Cathalia soon arrives at her new home, and she looks worried about the unseasoned food she's about to partake in. Robin is very welcoming. Timid and quiet, Cathalia looks around, still trying to adjust, and it's clear she isn't fully comfortable about white people fixing her hair. A little later, Robin and Daniel show her to her new room, filled with toys and white dolls, but Cathalia doesn't seem impressed. Later, Robin decides to make lunch, asking if Cathalia wants it a little spicy, with black pepper. Then Robin gets a call from her mom, who found some disturbing news online. Apparently, Cathalia's birth mother butchered her entire family, and worries it could be a hereditary disorder that Cathalia might have inherited. Robin says she already been known, then notices dark mold growing on the fruit she just grabbed from the fridge. Robin brings Daniel and Cathalia some sandwiches, and casually tells Daniel that the fruit from earlier had gone rotten, like their sex life. But just as they're about to eat, the sandwiches begin to rot too. Daniel heads inside to check the fridge, thinking it might be faulty, but everything seems fine. When it's time for a bath, we get a cheap jump scare. While bathing, Robin shares that although she's had 4 pregnancies, she never got to meet her babies because of complications. Meeting Cathalia feels special to her, like a second chance, but Cathalia just remains stone cold. Later in their bedroom, Daniel takes off his shirt and he kind of foin. Robin admits she feels like she's trying too hard to make Cathalia comfortable. He tells Robin to relax a little and give it time. Meanwhile, Cathalia quietly slips out of her room. Barefoot and silent, she tiptoes into the kitchen and starts collecting knives. Y'all, I don't like how this movie is portraying a black child, but let's hope there's a twist. The next day, Daniel discovers a gross, sticky slime in the pool, reminding him of something white that comes out of him. He scoops some up and shows it to Robin, who is disgusted by it. Later, while Daniel is examining the slime, Cathalia sneaks up behind him, making him shart a little. She's drawn to some of the equipment and picks up a drill, but Daniel quickly takes it from her. Trying to lighten the mood, he playfully pretends to scare her with the slime, but Cathalia doesn't have Caucasian humor, so she storms out the room. Afterwards, Daniel finds the knife in Cathalia's bedroom. Meanwhile, Cathalia meets Fiona down by the creek while tossing away some of her dolls. Fiona offers to trade candy for them, and Cathalia is downs. Fiona dismantles the dolls and gives them eyes made of pink fluff. Soon after, Daniel and Robin meet Fiona's mother, Lizzie, and exchange pleasantries. Lizzie compliments Cathalia, saying she's beautiful, but Fiona keeps staring at her and says, "She is a door." Suspicious, Robin wonders what that means, but Lizzie brushes it off, saying it's just weird stuff kids say. Robin isn't too thrilled with what Fiona did to the dolls, saying it looks like zombies, then says Lizzie is strange. Daniel suggests Lizzie might just be struggling to raise a restarted child like Fiona. Wanting to help Cathalia feel more at home, Robin suggests hosting a small cookout so she can meet other kids and make some friends. I'm not sure if these two would be invited to the cookout. Later that night, after everyone's gone to bed, Cathalia sneaks into Daniel's workspace. This time, she takes the drill and an iron blade. Days later, Robin begins to feel uneasy. She calls Daniel and confides in him that ever since Cathalia moved in, she's had this strange sense, like someone else is in the house whenever she's alone. Daniel, not wanting to jump to conclusions about Cathalia, admits he's been feeling similar, but Cathalia herself might also be experiencing strange things. The next day, the party goes ahead as planned. Cathalia meets Robin's friends, Beth and Samantha, but Cathalia is shy and withdrawn. Beth tries to warm up to her, complimenting her dress and beauty, but Cathalia can smell the mayonnaise body odor coming out of Beth. Cathalia starts to feel strange, not seeing a single person of color, and how the flies are desperate for white people food. Then Maddox, Beth's daughter, irritates Cathalia by saying she found out that her mother killed her father, so Cathalia beats her down. The adults step in and break it up. Everyone just stares at this poor little girl, like it was her fault. That night, Daniel finds Robin sitting by the pool and asks if she's drunk. Robin, clearly unsettled by how strange everything has become, says nothing at first. Then without a word, she undresses and steps into the pool, even though it's still full of the mysterious slime. She signals for Daniel to join her for some wet kitty time, and picking up on the vibe, he hops in too. Meanwhile, Cathalia runs out to the creek alone. There, she's overcome by strange sensations. She starts bleeding and eventually collapses. Thankfully, Daniel finds her and brings her back home. That night, Cathalia has a nightmare, reliving the moment her mother killed her father. At 7 the next morning, Fiona shows up at the door, asking to see Cathalia. It's too damn early to be dealing with a missing chromosome, but Fiona ignores them and barges in. Fiona shows Cathalia her creepy zombie-looking dolls. She tells Cathalia that she's now stuck. As they sit together, they begin crafting dolls that resemble Cathalia. This white hoe really out here using a brown marker on the Barbie. Daniel walks in, curious about what the girls are doing. Fiona looks up and calmly says that monsters are coming. Trying to brush it off, Daniel laughs nervously and tells her that monsters aren't real, they don't exist, and they definitely don't hurt people. Fiona just stares. After he leaves the room, she turns back to Cathalia and says the monsters have followed Cathalia. Suddenly, a strange spark flashes in her eyes, and without warning, she throws up. The next morning, Robin and Daniel make a disturbing discovery. They find the drill and the iron blade under Cathalia's bed. Realizing these are tools she took from Daniel's room, Robin's fear deepens. A few days later, Robin learns that she's pregnant. Meanwhile, Cathalia is taken to see a doctor due to her increasingly concerning behavior. As part of the session, she's asked to draw her family. Her drawing includes Robin and Daniel, but then she jabs through Robin's image with a pencil and smears Daniel's with red paint. It's a strong, unsettling message. Terrified, Robin begins to question everything. She tells Daniel she thinks they made a mistake adopting Cathalia. With Cathalia's history and her mother's dark past, she fears for her unborn child. One night, while Robin is asleep, Cathalia quietly sneaks into the room, ties her to the bed, and begins pressing down on her stomach. Daniel, who had stepped out to get a milkshake, hears Robin's screams and races back into the house, only to find Cathalia mid-act trying to punch Robin's fupa. Robin, in tears, begs Daniel to stop her before she hurts the entire family. Shocked and furious, Daniel pulls Cathalia away and scolds her, demanding to know why she would try to harm his wife. Cathalia, overwhelmed and angry, begins packing her things to leave, but Daniel stops her. Cathalia shows Robin an address, and without hesitation, they hit the road to find the place. The address leads them to a couple, Evelyn and her husband Joe, who previously fostered Cathalia. While on the way, Robin suddenly finds herself soaked in blood. Panicked, she discovers a strange, root-like object in her underwear. Anxious and confused, she places the object in a jar. When she feels something kick inside her, she assumes the baby is still okay. Later, Daniel catches up with Evelyn while Cathalia stays in the car. Wasting no time, he tells Evelyn exactly why he's there, which is he needs a hot comb for Cathalia. The moment he mentions her name, Evelyn smirks knowingly. Evelyn and Joe had a terrifying experience when Cathalia was in their care, just like what Daniel and Robin are going through now. As soon as she sees Cathalia, she tries to attack. Luckily, she was tied to the chair, and Joe also came in to stop his wife. Rushing out to avoid further problems, Joe stops them and furiously asks why they came into his house to upset his wife. Angry, Daniel replies that it was his wife who attacked them. He also wonders if that's the way they treat innocent kids. Still angry, Joe asks if Daniel is married and if his wife is pregnant. Hearing this, Daniel becomes anxious. Joe tells him that every terrible thing started happening to him and Evelyn the moment they fostered Cathalia. Then he urges Daniel to get rid of Cathalia before it's too late. As they're about to drive away, the crazy Evelyn tries to attack Cathalia, and Daniel is able to yeet her out by driving away. Moments later, Daniel sees Robin's belly looking bigger than it was before he left home. Confused, Daniel moves closer to her, not knowing if she just got fat or is bloated. The next day, Robin visits her doctor, concerned about the strange bleeding and the grotesque objects she found. Robin even has a Tupperware of an aborted baby, but Robin is in denial that her baby is gone because she feels it moving inside her. Back home, the director wanted some thirst shots of Daniel cleaning the pool in the rain. Tension boils over as Robin lashes out at Cathalia, trying to kill her, but Cathalia can't scream. The girl escapes and runs to Fiona for help. Fiona, oddly calm, shows her pictures of the invisible people she talks to. Then she displays a collection of strange insects, saying they're her friends. While Cathalia admires them, Fiona narrows her gaze and stares deeply at her. "Your color is different," she says cryptically, then suddenly strikes her in the head with a hammer. Fiona is a racist hoe. Cathalia is rushed to the hospital. Miraculously, the doctor confirms she hasn't sustained a brain fracture or internal bleeding. However, he points out something unusual, a scar on her head. While it doesn't appear cancerous, it's not normal, and he'd like to run some tests. Later, Daniel returns home to inform Robin about Cathalia's condition, but at this stage, things have become extremely bad for her. She says she doesn't love or care about Cathalia, calling her a parasite. The next day, Daniel finds a weird-looking doll with two heads dropped by Fiona outside. The doctor calls and says he found something surprising in Cathalia's CT scan. From the scan, the doctor finds an obstruction in Cathalia's brain that affects speech. He diagnoses the condition as vanishing twin syndrome. Apparently, Cathalia was supposed to be born a twin, but she absorbed her twin sister in the womb. The remaining tissue blocked the part of her brain responsible for speech, which explains why she can't talk. At home, Daniel finds Robin's blood all over the bed and mold everywhere. Robin is looking pale and sick, profusely sweating out mayonnaise from her pores. He suggests they see a doctor, but Robin doesn't seem like herself anymore. She gets into the tub, groaning, and shockingly gives birth to a monster. Daniel can't bear to watch, so he rushes outside to meet Cathalia in the car. Cathalia shows him the two-headed doll and signals that Fiona knows something. At Fiona's house, her mom explains that Fiona has some sort of ability to speak to the dead. They go upstairs to do some sort of freaky, leaky ritual. Fiona says the unborn twin dreams of life and has been the cause of everything. The only solution is to get the monster out. Meanwhile, the doctor does a wellness check on Robin. She's able to enter and tries to find Robin to sedate her. However, Robin is fully possessed by the monster. As Daniel and Cathelia get home, Robin surprises Daniel and stabs him. Then she goes to the doctor and brutally stabs her multiple times. Cathelia rushes to hide, but Robin catches her. Robin tries to drown Cathelia in the pool, but Fiona and Lizzie arrive just in time to save her. Cathelia goes to punch the fat ass, but this actually saves Robin as she coughs out the extra water in her lungs. Fiona says the monster isn't in Robin, it's in Cathelia. They all head inside, and luckily Daniel is still alive. As Lizzie goes to look for help, Robin is back and slashes her throat. Fiona and Cathelia drag Daniel into his room while Robin tries to smash his balls. They escape into the room and lock it behind them. But Robin won't stop. She starts breaking down the door with a sledgehammer. At this point, Fiona says the only way to save everyone is to get the monster out of Cathelia's head. Fearing for Cathelia's life, Daniel is hesitant about it. He takes the drill and Cathelia allows him to drive it into her skull. The monster bursts out of her head, crawls to Daniel, then it sucks on the man's pink nipple. Then Cathelia calls it her sister before twisting its neck. This instantly restores Robin to normal and the movie ends. What a sick movie. I wish it would have more commentary on interracial adoption though. What did you guys think of this one?
Hey, if you like this video, make sure you subscribe now and turn on the notification because YouTube isn't recommending my videos. And if you like to watch more foolishness, click here or here.